Hi, this is Melanie, and I have been wanting to make this video for quite a while now. And something happened today when I got back from our homeschool co-op. I got an email from a friend who told me that her father had just had an accident and had broken collarbone and some broken ribs, and was in quite serious condition, but it looked like it wasn't life-threatening. And so many times since last March when I had my accident, there's been so many of my friends that have broken bones. Like, it seems like never before. So I want to share what I did, because I had never suffered any broken bones, thankfully, before. And when it happened to me, well, first of all, I'll tell you, first of all, I want to make a disclaimer, because I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, I'm not in the medical profession, but I'm just wanting to share my experience, what happened to me, because it was pretty remarkable and it was very, very exciting. What happened was, I was visiting a dear friend who's almost 90 years old, lives just sort of north of Cookeville in Tennessee, and he's got a beautiful property with a beautiful, well, several beautiful waterfalls on it. And I was in a situation that, not unlike the little bit of waterfall, if you can see or hear it behind me. Oh, you can see it in this picture, but it was a beautiful, the waterfall was actually very high, not like this one, but I was in the bottom part of it, and the rocks were very slick, and I was being really careful about where I put my feet. But however careful I was, all of a sudden my left foot gave way, and it kind of, I fell into this little pool of water, which was actually quite deep, and then the back of my rib cage slammed against this rock. And when that happened, I mean, I was like, I just couldn't even breathe, and it was just really frightening. And so anyway, there was several people nearby that were able to come to my rescue and help me to get out of the water. I wasn't in any, I was fully dressed in a skirt and everything, and I got completely wet, and I had to be kind of transported out of there, and it was very uncomfortable. And I could walk okay, but like getting into a lying position to go to sleep at night was just, took forever. And then once I was lying down, I couldn't move either way. I just had to be like completely still. So it was very, very uncomfortable. I didn't take any pain medication or anything like that, and I just decided that I wanted to research for myself what I could do, what natural resources I could use to help my healing as fast as possible. So I remembered a story that I had heard Victoria Boutenko tell in a quite a long video that I watched a while back. She is a Russian mom who, for many years now, well, her family, they came over from Russia in the beginning of the 1990s, and very quickly she and her husband and her two children became very sick with various diseases. And so she basically found a way of the family healing from all these different illnesses through practicing a raw vegan diet. That's to cut a very long story short. But I remember her telling the story about how her son, Sergei, who I think was like a young boy, maybe 9 years old at the time or so, and he had a bike accident when she was away on a speaking engagement 600 miles away, and he broke his collarbone on his bike, and it was pretty scary, and he immediately craved wheatgrass juice. And so I remembered this, and I was like, okay, and the thing was that she tells the story of how he basically healed from this collarbone breakage within 4 weeks, which was like 50% faster than the doctors expected, and they were all amazed. Well, it wasn't just the wheatgrass juice that he did. He craved that in the first few days, and then subsequently he was craving sesame milk, and he got his sister to make him the wheatgrass juice and the sesame milk and whatnot. And that is how, those are two of the things that he did to help heal his collarbone. And so she tells that story, and I'm going to link that video in the blurb below this video. I also discovered that shaved grass tea is very good, so I drank shaved grass tea a lot. It's very good for strengthening bones and ligaments and cartilage. Nettle tea is also extremely nutritious, and then along with the sesame milk, what I would do is when I would make green smoothies, and greens are very, very important because they're very high in calcium. And the sesame seeds are actually the food that has the highest calcium content out of any food. So that's why the sesame seeds are very, very important. And so what I would do is I would get like maybe a quarter cup of sesame seeds, grind them up in a coffee grinder, first of all, then add them to my green smoothies. And I would drink green smoothies like, you know, at least 2 times a day. And a lot of greens in there, like kale and spinach and whatever wild edibles I could find in the garden, that kind of thing. The other thing that I did, because I love herbs, and so I knew that the herb comfrey, which is also known as knit bone, it actually knits your bones together. So I did some more research about that, and I went over to a friend's house who I knew had comfrey, and I got some comfrey and I made infusions, and I also made compresses which I would put on the area that was broken. And so I really believe that that helped a lot. Now I have to put a caveat out there about the Comfrey Infusion, because apparently the FDA has poo-pooed it, probably because it's so effective in my opinion. But I know another lady that's been drinking infusions of comfrey like for years and years and years, and nothing has ever happened to her. She's absolutely fine. So you have to kind of make your own opinion about that, and you know, do the research and decide if that's something you want to do or not. So as far as the wheatgrass is concerned, I know my friend was asking me where to find it, what to do. Well, so you can, if you have a Whole Foods nearby, you can go to a Whole Foods and get it there, although that's kind of expensive. But you can also find places where you could buy the wheatgrass itself, and if you have a juicer, juice it, and that would probably be a lot more economical. Now, from what I recall from the Boutenko story, Sergei was mainly craving the wheatgrass in the first few days of the injury, and then thereafter he was like mainlining the sesame milk. So, and I'm also going to link below a video which explains how to make sesame milk, because it's not something that you can buy anywhere. You literally have to buy the sesame seeds, and then what I would just do is grind them in the blender, in the grinder, the coffee grinder, and then add them to water, and then, I mean, generally I would add them to my green smoothies, but you could, if you just wanted to drink it with the water, maybe add a little bit of some kind of natural sweetener like, I don't know, stevia or coconut nectar, something that's or maybe a little bit of honey, whatever is your preference, and what sometimes like whatever you have to hand, but probably not sugar, but just something that is nutritious and that's not going to take away from the healing of your bones. Now, along with that, nutrition is obviously very important, because you don't want to be eating the standard American diet, because the standard American diet is very acidic, and when we eat acidic foods, it pulls calcium from our bones, and that's the very thing that our bones need in a crisis like, well, they need it most of the time anyway, but especially in a situation of crisis like a broken bone, you really want to be eating a very clean diet, mainlining fresh fruits and vegetables, and as many greens as you can cram in. So I think that's everything that I had written down here. I know I'm going to press the button to say goodbye, and I'm going to remember like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. But so this is mainly for my friend Kelly, and I'm praying for your daddy. I hope he gets better soon, and I'm glad that this was kind of, well, I'm sorry that it happened to your daddy, but I'm glad I've finally made this video, because I've had so many people that have broken this and that, and you know, it would have been so handy to already have the video made and just be able to send it to them. So here the video is finally, and so off it goes. Over and out. Lots of love.